Good morning. Hope you're having a great week. It is Thursday, August 14th, 8:33 a.m. Central Daylight Time, local time here in Oklahoma City. I probably shouldn't be making a video right now because I'm really mad and I'm really stressed out. So the short version of what's going on is Landstar put me out of service because I went over 120 days on the inspection. I got the inspection done 2 weeks ago, and it took Landstar 2 weeks to process the paperwork to put me back into service. They put me back in service yesterday afternoon or yesterday morning. Um, and then last night, was it last night? No, it wasn't last night. Okay, I got my days mixed up. So they finally got me put back in service Tuesday. And then Tuesday night, Wednesday morning at 3 a.m., I got an email saying that I was put back out of service again, and they didn't tell me why. So I had to call and ask them why. And they said that it was because of my California permit, my carb permit. It's a new permit that California created within like the last year. And I tried to explain to them that, that just means that I can't drive in California. That's like not having a liquor permit for New York. Why are you putting me out of service for this? And I went round and round in circles with them for like a half hour on the phone. And they finally said, well, we can put you back in service for 2 weeks while you figure it out. Like, okay, whatever. So they put me back in service yesterday afternoon or yesterday morning. And I looked for a load yesterday. I think I made a load board video yesterday, and I couldn't find a decent load yesterday. This morning, like 30 minutes ago, I get an email from trailer utilization telling me that they're taking the trailer. Don't book a load. There's somebody on the way to pick up the trailer. And I'm thinking this is some kind of practical joke that Landstar's playing on me. I've been sitting for 2 weeks trying to get out of, put back in service while they process paperwork. They finally processed the paperwork. And like 12 hours after I'm put back in service, they put me back out of service because I don't have a permit for California. And then I get put back in service. And then the next day, they put me basically back out of service, taking the trailer away from me, telling me I can't book a load because I've been sitting for 2 weeks. I called trailer utilization and tried to explain to the person there what was going on, that I've been sitting because Landstar took 2 weeks to process paperwork. And it was like talking to a wall. Um, I went round and round in circles with her for like 15 minutes. And I said, you know what? Is there a manager or somebody that I can talk with? Because I'm not giving up the trailer. And she said, well, if you don't give up the trailer, and she started threatening to charge me for all kinds of stuff. And I said, I would just like to speak with the manager. I didn't want to hear her threatening me to charge me for all kinds of things. And she said, yeah, I can get you a manager. And then I get over to a manager, and the manager just immediately starts telling me that, they're going to take the trailer from me, and is just immediately confrontational with me, defensive. And I explained to him what was going on. And then after 5 minutes of explaining, he said, let me check. And so he goes and starts looking through the records because he thinks I'm lying to him. And he finds all the records of the several times that I submitted all the paperwork. And then they finally processed it. And he said, okay, it looks like you're telling the truth. And he said, I'll give you 2 hours to find a load. I'm like, are you serious? Like, you're basically telling me that I have to just take whatever crap's on the load board. You realize that most of the loads on the load board are below operating cost. It takes time to find a load. And we went round and round in circles for like another 15 minutes. And basically, we're at the point where I have to find a load today. He's going to call me back this afternoon if I don't have a load and assign the trailer to somebody else. So I have to book a load. within the next few hours, or I'm going to be in a position where I'm going to be stuck for another couple of weeks, not able to get a load because they're going to take my trailer away from me. And then I'm going to have to wait like a couple weeks for them to find me another trailer. Like, I don't understand why trailer utilization does that. Why take a trailer away from someone that's needing the trailer? Because as soon as they take the trailer away from me, I have to go onto the trailer wait list and they have to find me a trailer. Like like this is one of the things I really despise about Landstar. Their trailer utilization department is so incompetent. And Landstar's fleet size has shrunk in half in the last couple of years. They should have an abundance of trailers. There's no excuse for them to steal trailers from people. It's just laziness. They don't go out and find trailers that are like abandoned at truck stops and stuff like that. What they do to locate trailers is they search for drivers that have been sitting idle. So they almost every trailer that Landstar takes, and gives to somebody, they're stealing it from another driver instead of doing their job and going out and finding the trailers that are sitting. Like one of the trailers that I went and picked up was at a shop in Tulsa. And that shop in Tulsa said that the only reason that I was there picking that up was because they were threatening to like put a lien against it because it had been sitting at their shop for so long, and they had been calling Landstar for so long trying to get them to get the trailer off their property. So they don't actively work to get trailers off of like out of truck stops where they've been abandoned at truck stops or abandoned at shops and stuff like that. They just steal trailers from idle drivers. They have a report that they get every day. And once you go idle, then they just take your trailer from you. Anyway, we need to find a load. What I'm thinking about doing right now is taking this Grand Prairie, Texas to Salt Lake City load. I don't have to pick the load up today. I have to book a load today. And I'm not sitting in the truck right now, so I can't pick up a load today. This load picks up on the 20th. I don't want to set that long. This load doesn't pick up for a week. And it doesn't pay very well, and it's going into a bad market. So let's look through here and see if we can find something better. And he was just like, did not care. He was like, he basically told me he didn't care if I took a load at a loss. And he said, hauling something for $200 is better than not hauling anything at all. And I'm like, well, you don't understand how a business works then, because I have massive expenses. Like, I didn't explain that to him. Like, it was just really frustrating to talk to him. He was saying some absolutely ridiculous shit. Like, he had an employee mindset, not a business owner mindset. And he had the, mindset that, some money's better than no money. And that is not true. You can lose money as a business owner hauling cheap stuff. And, you could have a breakdown hauling that cheap load. Like, it could get really expensive. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. So let's extend the search to 400 miles. Let's see, we're at 5 loads right now. If I extend it to 400 miles, we're still at 5 loads. All right, Oak Grove, Missouri to Salt Lake City. This is another, it's the same agency. The Grand Prairie, Texas to Salt Lake City load I was just looking at is the CGI agency. This is also the CGI agency. LTSICOT. If you're interested in booking or holding this load and is between blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's just copy pasta crap. So it has a stop in Commerce City, Colorado. Oh my goodness, this is a really tight load. The 19th through the 21st. So I'd have to deadhead all the way to Kansas City to pick this load up. That is a massive deadhead on a bunch of toll roads. $600 in fuel surcharge. 384 a mile. What's the, all right. So I pick it up on the 19th at 8 p.m. and it has to deliver at 8 a.m. in Commerce City. Let me pause this while I pull up a map. All right, so 606 miles. That is definitely doable in a single drive shift. But none of these cities are matching up. Like they're saying that it's delivering to Henderson and Commerce City, and they're saying it's picking up in Oak Grove. I'm showing that there are no SIA terminals in those cities. These are the two closest SIA terminals, but this might not actually be a SIA load. This might be a FedEx load. I'm just guessing that it's SIA because I know CGI has that contract. All right, now SIA. What is the Salt Lake City? All right. So that's 1132. That's 526 miles. That's easily done in a drive shift. So what's the schedule on this? So pick it up the 19th at 8 p.m. Got delivered by 8 a.m. So I have to drive straight through nonstop, single drive shift. And then I can start driving again at about 6 p.m. And it has to deliver in Salt Lake the 21st by 6 p.m. So I have 24 hours to get to Salt Lake. So yeah, there's plenty of time. Well, I won't say plenty of time. The first leg is pretty tight, but the second leg is not too bad. Let's see if it's still on the load board. It's been sitting on the load board for 9 days. Salt Lake City is not a good place to be looking for a load. What is this going to pay? Let's figure out the pay on this. The pay is 4306.60 minus 600.60. So 3706, I get 65% of that. So I'm getting $2,408.90 plus 600.6. I get 100% of the fuel surcharge. So this is going to pay $3,009.50 to the truck. It's a good paying load. The only bad thing about it is the massive deadhead that I have to do to pick the load up and the tolls. It's probably going to cost me, I don't know how much in tolls, $20 to $40 in tolls. And then I'm going to be in a bad freight market on the delivery. Let's look. Let me refresh this, make sure the load's still there. Let's look at Salt Lake City. One thing that I talked about in previous videos, 0 available loads in Salt Lake City. Let's change the pickup date to today. 2 loads. We're just trying to get an idea of what Salt Lake's like. So Salt Lake to Salt Lake round trip, 60,000 pounds. Do I not have a max weight on this? Oh my goodness, Henderson, Nevada. That's Las Vegas to Atlanta, Georgia. That's a hell of a deadhead. 366 miles. Yeah, Salt Lake is going to be a bad place to be. But that's looking like the best option right now. And what I was in the middle of saying is I talked about this in recent videos. Is I've been seeing LTL freight increasing on Landstar's load board, which I said is a good sign that the freight market is picking up. I mean, it's not 100% that that's what's happening. There are other things that cause things to happen, but in general, LTL freight picks up for over the road companies as overflow whenever freight picks up, because LTL companies don't hire more drivers when the freight picks up. They move that extra freight with over the road companies. So we have FedEx and Saia are the only two LTL carriers I'm aware of that we have a lot of contracts with. And we do have contracts with the terminals in Salt Lake City. So there should be a decent amount of loads posted coming out of Salt Lake City. So it may be another situation where I'm going to have to haul a load for $1.50 a mile to get out of a bad market. Or like I'll have to deadhead to, 400 miles down to Las Vegas. Um, but I think I'm going to book this load and because let's see here. Let's go back to Oklahoma City. Ooh, 7 loads. Did we get 2 new loads? Oh, I think this load right here might be new. Nope, this has been on here for 20 hours. Oh, I think it's the range. I increased the range to 400 miles whenever we were doing the Salt Lake City search. Maybe? I don't know. I don't remember. There were only 5 loads here a minute ago. Real quick, let's look for, just a second here. Um, let's look for just short runs. Oklahoma City, let's look 150 miles, and let's get rid of the minimum stuff. All right, minimum rate per mile is required. Must be at least 50 cents a mile. Sometimes it lets me search with all this stuff zeroed out, and sometimes it doesn't. Oh my goodness. The reason it's not letting me is because this one is a saved search. Crap. What am I doing? I need to change this back because this is my load alert. I'm screwing with my load alert. All right, we got that changed back. Let me pause this while I pull up a different saved search because I don't want to mess with my load alert. All right, we got another one pulled. I could have swore that I pulled up a different search. Um, all right, so now let's do. Well, real quick before we change this. Oh my goodness, we just got Oklahoma City to Scottsdale, Arizona. All right, so it was paying like 350 a mile going from Oklahoma City to Scottsdale, Arizona, but it's a specialized load. You need a whole bunch of moving blankets and stuff like that. You need like 15 moving blankets. So I would have to go spend hundreds of dollars on uh, securement material or dunnage, whatever you want to call it. So that's a no go. But it's nice that it was picking up right. I think it was picking up on the 19th to the 21st. But yeah, specialized load requiring a whole bunch of dunnage. So what we're going to do, we're going to change this over and look at spot market freight. So we went from 9 loads. Were we at 9 loads? I think so. I can't remember. 9 loads. Now we're up to 20 loads. What's the radius? 250-mile radius. Like, I'm just skimming through here and all these loads look bad. Wichita, Kansas to Dallas, Oregon. It's got 2 extra stops on it, 268 a mile. It's not horrible. But most of these loads are going out in the middle of nowhere like Wyoming, and they're hazmat and they're heavy. So I'm not in a situation where I can deal with the drama of a spot market load. So let's just go back to contract freight. 8 loads. And let me do this real quick. Let's go back out to 400 miles. I want to pull up that Oak Grove, Missouri load into a different window. Okay, so they got one that picks up on the 19th and then one that picks up on the 26th. And we're just gonna, I just want to have that over in the window. Now let's go back and let's look for something that just picks up in Oklahoma City. Because like if I can find a load that just paying $500 for me to shuttle a trailer in town, that'll be enough to get trailer utilization off my back for 2 weeks. So let's go down to 150 miles and I should be able to zero this out since this is not a load alert. Yeah, let me put zeros in it because this one is not a load alert. So we have 18 loads. So right here is a short little load, a tire load, going from Lawton, Oklahoma to Arlington, Texas. I would make like $500 on this load. A lot of these loads are like $1.50 a mile. Now, any prices you see on here, that's the full rate. I get about 70% of whatever you see on here. So a load that's listed as $1.50 a mile, 1.5 times 0.7, that pays me about $1.05 a mile to the truck. And most owner operators, their break even is about $1.75 a mile. At $1.75 a mile, you can cover all of your business expenses and pay yourself about 60 cents per mile. You need to include paying yourself in your operating cost. If you're not doing that, then you don't know what your operating cost is. But yeah, running at $1 a mile sounds good to a company driver, but as an owner operator, that's you'll go out of business running at $1 a mile. Let's sort this by rate per mile because there's no big paying loads. Ardmore to Tyler. So there's nothing like really close to Oklahoma City. So we got this one, but that's going 900 miles. I don't want to haul a cheap load 900 miles. If I'm going to do a cheap load, I want something that's short. Tulsa to Tulsa. What is this? It's only $2 a mile. Let's check and see what it is. See if there's some notes on this. So you're going to Bessemer, Alabama, Olive Branch, Mississippi, and then back to Tulsa. So it can pick up the 15th or the 16th. Is it a preloaded? Where preloaded? Yes, it's a preloaded trailer. So you're going from Tulsa to Birmingham, and then Memphis, and then Tulsa. Man, the first leg of that trip, it has to deliver at 6 a.m. on the 17th. Tulsa to Birmingham is a full drive shift. I think you might be able to. Let's check here. Let me pause this while I search. Yeah, 637 miles from Tulsa to Birmingham. And then you have a full day to get to Memphis, which uh, is fine. And then a single day. You have, well, another full day, 22 hours to go from Memphis to Tulsa. The only part of this that is difficult is Tulsa to Birmingham. This thing pays next to nothing, but I could call them and be like, hey, um, could you put more money on this load? Let's see here. If this load were to go to 3,000, that would still only be 235 a mile. They'd have to increase the price by $1,000 to make this a decent load. I've never worked with this agency, and it's a pretty heavy load too, 38,500. So here are the two best options that I've found so far. We can do this Lawton, Oklahoma to Arlington, Texas tire load, um, where I'm just basically making no money at all. It's a 2 day load that's going to pay me like 500 bucks. I'm going to make like $250 a day. Do you know who makes $250 a day? An employee. But an employee doesn't have expenses. I have expenses coming out of that $250 a day. Back when I was an employee, I made $250 a day. I made more than $250 a day. But as an owner, operator, with all of my expenses, I would probably break even on this load, if not lose money. I would be able to cover my operating cost, and that's about it. I'm not actually going to make money, but it would put me down in the Dallas area. It's either that load or the Oak Grove, Missouri load, the Kansas City to Salt Lake. Yeah, I'm not even going to call on that load. $1,000, negotiating the price up $1,000 is, if it were a really good market, yes, I would do that. But the market is mediocre at best. We're actually in a bad freight market, and trying to negotiate higher rates is not easy. If I had some kind of leverage on this load, maybe. But this load's coming out of a bad market where there's not very many good loads to compete with. So yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of that one. Ah, 19th. Is this preloaded? Yes, this is preloaded. Let me think here. All right, let me pause this and get my trailer number. All right, I'm gonna book the Salt Lake City load. And if I give out some personal information, then I'll try to hit the pause button, giving out like a phone number or an email address or something like that. You guys can see my truck number all the time, and I'm not worried about you seeing my truck number because you see that in videos all the time. I know a lot of people freak out over showing people your truck number because there's a lot of people out there that report drivers, and they'll if they find your truck number, then they'll call your company and be like, "Yeah, this guy is doing something crazy." There's several Landstar YouTubers that have talked about that in their videos, where people have called and reported them for stuff that they didn't even do. I forgot what I was doing. Okay, so let's. Where's their phone number at? I'll try to record it, but we'll see. Hello, Michael. My name is Daniel. I'm calling about a load from Oak Grove, Missouri to Salt Lake City. Picks up on the 19th. And I have a question about another load as well. You guys have a whole bunch of loads normally. I don't think there's one on the board right now, but you normally have a bunch of loads going from Oklahoma City to Denver. I think it's Henderson or Commerce City, Colorado. You normally have a ton of those. Do you not have any on the board right now, or oh, okay, okay. What is that dedicated run? Is it back and forth between Oklahoma City and Denver, or is it going to Salt Lake? Uh-huh. And then they have to find a way to get back to Oklahoma City. Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. that that would suck to try to have to get back there every week. Um, I didn't even know you guys were doing any dedicateds. Do you have anything available dedicated right now? Like I live in Oklahoma City, but like I would be willing to like drive over somewhere else to do a dedicated run. Uh-huh. Do you have any that are like that I don't have to find a way to get back? Like something that's like dedicated to here and then dedicated back. Yeah, yeah. Uh, nice. Yeah, it seems like there's more LTL loads on the board. It seems like LTL freight is picking up. So yeah, I'm interested in the Oak Grove to Salt Lake. I'll take that load if it's available. Is this a Sia load? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I'll check and see what else you got on the board right now. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye bye. All right. That load is already covered. And they basically told me that every single load that they have on the board, I could do dedicated if I wanted. But almost all of these are one-way loads. They're not round trip. So I'd have to like if I did a dedicated run from Oklahoma City to Denver, then I would have to find a way to get back to Oklahoma City every week. Uh, so yeah, that's not a good position to be in. Um, and they said that they didn't have any dedicated round trip stuff currently. All right, let's see what we got going on here. We're looking at Oklahoma City 150. Let's take it back up to Oklahoma City 300 miles and put in minimum revenue of 2,000, minimum rate per mile of 250. But I'm not sure what you could hear on the mic. This is a really sensitive mic. You might have been able to hear the whole conversation. But Michael said that they currently have a bunch of bids going on several lanes, so they might actually have a whole bunch more loads in the near future, a lot more dedicated stuff. All right, so we have a bunch of Louisville, Texas loads. This is the Ream account. This is what I left the house on last time, Ream Rude. So these are all pretty cheap. The only one that's paying decent is going to Denver, and Denver has to pay a premium. Like, it's a really bad market. All right, let's sort this by revenue because it defaults to sorting by the agency code. All right, so we got Grand Prairie to Salt Lake. This is most likely Saya. Um, it's paying, what was this one? This one was paying $4,300. These ones are paying $3,900, so 400 bucks less. It's 384 a mile versus 320 a mile. It's like 60 cents a mile less. Hmm. All right, let's try extending the range out all the way to 500 miles. So Baytown, Texas, that's Houston going to Albuquerque, 423 miles away. Illinois to California. So you might be saying, oh, that Oak Grove to Salt Lake is still on the board. No, it's not. There were two of them. There was one that was picking up on the 19th and one of them that was picking up on the 26th. The one that picks up on the 26th is still there. I don't want to wait that long. I mean, just booking a load will get trailer utilization off my back. But like, I don't want to sit at the house for another 2 weeks. Like, I was wanting to go out over the road like 3 weeks ago. And I procrastinated on getting the DOT inspection done by a week. And then it took Landstar 2 weeks to process the paperwork for it. So, like, I don't I don't want to sit around for another 2 weeks. Omaha to Salt Lake. Man, that's a hell of a deadhead to Omaha. So there's nothing. Let's go ahead and shorten the range on this back down to something reasonable, 250 miles. I will look at extreme ranges, like 1,000 miles away, just to see if there's some incredibly amazing run that's worth deadheading 1,000 miles for. But I'm not going to deadhead 1,000 miles for even a good load. It would have to be amazing for me to deadhead, 400 or 500 miles for a load. All right, let's look by age because I've already been sorting through these. Louisville, Texas to Westchester, Ohio. 250 a mile with 2 extra stops. What's going on here? Oh, I need to change something. I've got the pickup start date set for today. I remember I changed that so that we could see what was going on in the Salt Lake market. I can't pick up loads to pick up today, so let's change it to a minimum of tomorrow. I'm surprised that when I called CGI, Jimmy didn't pick up. I used to refer to him as CGI Jimmy because every time I called CGI, I got Jimmy. I've never spoken with this Michael person that I just got. And I don't like Jimmy. CGI Jimmy was bad at his job. I remember calling to book loads and he'd be like, "Yeah, that's already covered." You didn't even have time to check. And I would get off the phone and the load would still be on the load board. And I would wait like 5 minutes for them to remove it. And after 5 minutes, it's still sitting there, I'd call him back up again. He'd be like, "Didn't you just call a couple minutes ago?" And I said, no. And he's like, "Let me check." And then he came back and he said, "Okay, the load's available." Like CGI Jimmy would do stuff like that all the time. Like he just was lazy and he wouldn't check stuff and he would just make up crap just to get you off the phone. So RBL agency is actually booking better rates now. RBL used to call me all the time. They have a bunch of loads that come out of Park City, Kansas. And they used to call me all the time trying to get me to take their crap loads. And I would tell them like, you're trying to get me to haul a load at 240 a mile. You do understand like the operating cost of most trucks is around $1.75 a mile, and I only get 70% of the load, so the load would have to pay about 250 a mile for me to break even. So it has to pay over 250 a mile on the rate you negotiate for me to make any money, for me to be profitable. So please stop calling me 5 times a day trying to get me to haul loads at a loss. And I hung up on him. Now, I don't normally do that, but this RBL agency was calling me like 5 times a day, every day. And I told them several times, "Please stop calling me. I'm on the no call list." Because at Landstar, I have an option selected on my account where agents are not supposed to call me for loads. And I have like, it used to be a really bad problem. I used to get tons of calls, even though I had the option selected. But lately, over the last 6 months to a year, I don't get many phone calls from agents. So I think maybe Landstar might have cracked down on that, or it could just be that the freight market sucks and they're not having to do so many calls to move loads. All right, let's refresh. Hmm. This load is tempting right here. Park City, Kansas to El Paso, Texas. Park City, Kansas is not a huge deadhead. It's like 150 miles. Well, I don't have to guess right there. It's 160 miles. Um, So it's like 100 miles shorter than going down to Dallas on the Deadhead, and it's going to El Paso. Oh, what am I thinking? I was thinking Laredo for some reason. I was like, it's going into a good freight market. Laredo has tons of freight. It doesn't pay great, but it pays pretty good. But no, this is going to El Paso, which is not a good freight market. And you have to be extremely careful taking loads to the Mexico border. Uh, let me see if there's a note on this to see if it's a drop trailer. Preloaded trailer, direct shipper, 24/7, pick up anytime, and flexible delivery appointments. Oh, it also has two drops in New Mexico. Yeah, that's no bueno. Oh man. What to do, what to do, what to do. Park City to El Paso. Let's see if this Grand Prairie is a CGI load. No, this is the VAM agency. 20th through the 24th. Now let me pause this. I'm going to pull up another search window. All right, and on this, I'm going to search agency code and flags because they do a lot of team loads. So we want to do team no. So I'm going to see what all loads the VAM agency has. I'm looking for loads coming out of Salt Lake. They've got nothing coming out of Salt Lake. Hmm. Salt Lake is a hot destination for all these LTL loads. Let's look. Um, let's look for loads coming out of Salt Lake. Got 214 loads. What are we going to sort by to shorten that list? Let's see a $2. Oh my goodness. No, no, it's 18. Oh, great. What's going on? 18 available loads? Why is it so? It's showing. Oh, that's my last search is 214 loads. Okay, this one's 24 loads. Okay, we're good. So this is hauling customer equipment. and it requires a lightweight tractor, which means that the trailer is really, really heavy. So it's 59,185 pounds. That's not the cargo weight, that's the entire weight of the trailer. So your tractor has to weigh less than 20 pounds for you to be under 80,000 pounds. I can't haul that load. I have a heavy tractor. Do I have this set up on spot market? Because I'm seeing the same load. This is the same load. See what the notes say on this. Going to Boise, Idaho. Round trip, no trailer needed. So it's Salt Lake to Boise, back to Salt Lake. No trailer needed. This is a different load. And they have these loads all the time. Oh, wow. This would be sweet. Let me see here. So they have it 27th, 29th, 3rd to the 5th. So there's 7 days in between each one. So they have this load every week. Um, that's not a great load to do only this load every week. It's only one load per week and it's only 680 miles. So it wouldn't be an awesome dedicated run to do to make like 1,700 bucks a week gross to the truck. I was mainly checking Salt Lake to see if I saw a bunch of LTL loads coming out of Salt Lake. I have to make a decision. I have to make a decision real soon. Otherwise, a decision is going to be made for me. All right, this load is for Dawn. Now this, man, this doesn't pick up until the 23rd. Damn. That is a long ways away, but it's Dawn Flores. Uh the Maddox account. I really like Dawn. She's cool. Like she's not like a super nice person, which I don't really care about. She's not mean either. She's just like very professional, but she's like really good at her job. She keeps you informed as to what's going on, and she knows everything about the load. Like she does her job well. That's why I like her so much. Where in the hell is Espanola, Mexico? New Mexico. It's over north of Santa Fe. Yeah, I'm not wanting to go over there and be stuck in Santa Fe looking for a load, and I have to wait 10 days to even pick the damn thing up. Uh-oh. Sorry, it logged me out, which this is some of the janky stuff this load board does. It'll just log you out. So let me pause this a second. All right, I think we're back at the search that we were at. And let's sort it by age again. Nothing. Let's sort it by rate per mile. Garland, Texas to Van Buren, Arkansas. Van Buren is not a good place to be looking for a load. If I take that load, I'm going to have to deadhead to Dallas, which is about the same distance as it is deadheading from here to Dallas. Louisville to Denver. To Casper. Damn, and these. I'm just wanting something that picks up like 2 days from now, not a week or 2 weeks from now. These have some big delivery windows on them, or some like the 20th through the 24th, 4 days to go from Dallas to Salt Lake, 1,300 miles. 4 days to drive 1,300 miles. That must be like pick up on a Friday, deliver on a Monday, or something like that. Let me pause this and pull up another search. All right, we're doing a brand new search. Oklahoma City. Actually, you know what? Let's not do Oklahoma City. Let's just do trailer type. You know what? Let's do that. Well, let's go ahead and do expedite as well. Max weight 45,000 pounds. 3,100 loads. Minimum revenue 5,000. 81 loads. Oh my goodness. This sucks. We're searching the entire country for basic. Why? All right. Why do I have? Oh, these are. All right. I thought that was expedite, but it looks like step deck and stuff like that. Checking to see if there's any like really awesome big paying loads anywhere in the country. Uh, there's nothing worth driving 1,500 miles for. Mainly when I do a search like this over the entire country, I'm just looking like, is there a load that's paying $100,000? It's like a 3 month long tour, something like that. And nope, there is not. Let me think here. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Let's change this over to 150-mile radius around Oklahoma City. 20 loads. And agent, direct shipper, yes. Team, no. So these are all the loads that I can haul within 150 miles of Oklahoma City. This requires a lift gate, Oklahoma City to Oklahoma City. Let's look at the notes anyway and just see what the notes say. 53-foot lift gate required, pallet jack, 10 E-track ratchet straps. Yeah, highly specialized load. It's going to Niobrara, Nebraska. I don't even know where that's at. That's out in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska. Let's sort by rate per mile. Get these $1.50 mile loads down at the bottom of the list. All right, let's look at the comments on some of these loads and see if any of them are dedicated. Drop and hook on the pickup and the delivery. And this I-44 right here is a toll road. So, like a huge chunk. Like this load's gonna pay like 500 bucks to the truck, 550 or something like that, and probably 20 to $40 of that is gonna go to tolls. Ardmore to Tyler. No comments. There's a ton of loads that come out of Lawton, Oklahoma from the same agency, the DLS agency. It's tires, and they're just really cheap loads. I've never hauled one of them because of how cheap they are. All right, we've gotten down to the point where, it's like $2 a mile. That's the full rate. I get about 70% of that. So a load that's listed here at $2 a mile, it pays me $1.40 a mile, approximately. Hmm. No movement on the board. Let's let me pause this and I'll pull up a new search window. All right, so let's do team no, and we're going to search by the JQL agency. Seven loads, that's it. Oh my goodness. Las Vegas. Almost all these loads are coming out of Las Vegas. The JQL loads generally get covered within a couple of minutes of being posted. This one was just posted. 0 minutes old. Osceola, Wisconsin to Lithia Springs, Georgia. 389 a mile. That is not going to be on the board for long. I'm getting 0 load alerts, as you can probably tell. If I get a load alert, you'll definitely hear it because the phone is right next to the mic. So what is the number one load that I'm thinking about right now? I'm thinking about 2 loads. One is that lot in Oklahoma to Arlington, Texas. This DLS agency, they just have really cheap loads. It's 417 a mile. That looks awesome. But the shorter the mileage is, the higher the rate per mile has to be for it to be decent money. And basically, there's a lot of ways that you can look at a load. One of the ways that you can look at a load is daily rates. I try to run at $1,000 gross to the truck per day. Anything under $1,000 a day gross to the truck, you're not doing that great. Like you can still be profitable, but um, I try to do $1,000 a day gross to the truck. This load is $250 a day gross to the truck. It's a 2-day load that's paying $500 gross to the truck. The only reason I would even consider this load is just to get trailer utilization off my back. I hate that they're putting me in this position where I'm even considering hauling a load at a loss, which this load would be at a loss. The other load I'm thinking of is a Salt Lake load. Grand Prairie to Salt Lake. Where's it at? This load right here that picks up on the 20th for the VAM agency. You know what? I should just go ahead and book it. It doesn't pick up for 6 days. I am really not wanting to sit at the house for another 6 days. But I should just go ahead and book this load. Otherwise, like I could get a phone call at any minute, at any minute from trailer utilization telling me that my time's up. Grand Prairie to Salt Lake, picking up on the 20th. Again, I'm going to try to let you hear the phone call, but if I have to give out personal information, I'm going to try to remember to. Where do I even have a mute button? I don't trust mute. Let's put it that way. I don't trust mute. I would just pause the video if I'm going to give out personal information. Oh, did you say Kathy? Hello, Kathy. My name is Daniel. Calling about the load from Grand Prairie to Salt Lake on the 20th. Was it a Saya load or FedEx or Saya? Okay. Yeah, I'll take it. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. You guys don't have any dedicated runs going right now, do you? Okay. All right. Thank you much. Bye. She said that it was available, and then she said, "Hold on a second." And that's what I was sitting there waiting on. And then she said, "Actually, it looks like it's covered." This is one of the problems you run into, like trying to book loads, is you finally make a decision on a load, then you call, it's not available. It's just a huge waste of time, all these loads on the board that are not real loads. It's just a, oh my God, this is frustrating. That's the reason I don't like calling on loads that have been sitting on the load board for a long time. If a load's been sitting on the board for a long time, it's probably not even available anymore. I almost exclusively call on loads from load alerts, like within a couple of minutes of the load being posted. But I'm not in a position where I can do that right now. That's what I would normally do, is I would just sit around waiting for a good load to be posted. But trailer utilization has got me backed into a corner here. I could call and ask them if they'll put $1,000 on this Tulsa to Tulsa load, but it doesn't pick up for like another day or two. Um, and they're probably going to wait till the last minute before they consider increasing the price. I don't know. I'm not familiar with this agency. I've never worked with them. And I looked at this load already and there wasn't any comment on it, I don't think. So now we're back at this Lawton to Arlington load. Basically, I could just go pick that load up, deliver it in Dallas, and then set in Dallas waiting on a good load to be posted. I don't like setting in the Dallas area. There's just way too much truck traffic in the Dallas area. Um, I just don't like being in truck stops in Dallas. I don't mind out on the fringe on the outside of Dallas, but like this would be downtown Dallas. So where would I go and set and wait on a load? I'm not even familiar with truck stops in this area. There are a lot of truck stops in the Dallas Fort Worth area, but they're almost all paid parking or they're overrun with locals, one or the other. Could try to book a load between now and then. I have a few days to book a load, and then I could just go straight to the pickup location of the next load instead of, trying to find a spot here. So let's think about this. This load picks up, um, I think it's a preloaded trailer. Yeah, it's preloaded. So you can pick it up anywhere between anytime after 5 p.m. on the 17th. When's the 17th? The 17th is Sunday. So anytime after 5 p.m. Sunday. And it delivers by 4 a.m. on Monday. So I might be able to pick it up anytime over the weekend and it delivers at 4 a.m. on Monday. Let's do it. I just I'm backed into a corner right now. I need, man, if this load is already covered, I'm gonna be pissed. Let's refresh the load board really quick before I call. Grand Prairie to Salt Lake. Age. Is it sorted by? It is not sorted by age. I don't know what's sorted by right now. All right, so no new loads there. And no new loads there. Lawton to Arlington. I've talked with this agent. I've never hauled a load for this agent, but I've talked with them one time. I called them and asked them if they'd let me take a load without a trailer, and they're like, "No, we do not like deal with trailer utilization. We don't give away trailers because it's a nightmare to deal with trailer utilization." All right, I had this problem last time I called them. Whenever I would call, it would just hang up. She answered the phone and it hung up. Let me try texting her. I'm not sure if this thing can receive texts. It just keeps hanging up. Period. Can you call me? Question mark. So yeah, she can receive texts on this because we texted back last time. We had the exact same issue last time. This was back on March 27th. Hello, this is Daniel. Hey there. We had this problem last time I tried to book a load. I don't know why your phone just keeps hanging up on me. I'm calling about the load from Lawton to Arlington. Picks up Sunday. Okay. I'll take it. Yeah. 427 816. Yeah, that's the number I'm calling on is my cell number. That's my only number. My last name. Uh, when do I want to pick it up? Like you said, it would be ready after 5 p.m. Yeah, I'll be there. It's a very short window. Uh, Picks up between 5 and then delivers at 4 a.m. The place that I'm delivering it to, could I get there early? Like, could I get there? Could I pick the trailer up at 5 p.m. and then go straight there and drop it off as soon as I get there? I would prefer to deliver it early then. So if they're saying that the trailer won't be ready until after 5 p.m., then I'll be there as close to 5 p.m. as I can, and I'll just drive it straight through and drop it off. Oh, cool. Okay, and do you know about the delivery location, how early I can deliver it there? Like if they say it's ready Saturday, could I deliver it Saturday? Okay, okay. And what kind of place am I delivering to? Is it a retail store or a warehouse or what? That's fine. That's fine. You can just send me the info. I'll look it up. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. So it's drop and hook. There'll be a preloaded tra or there'll be another Landstar trailer there for me to pick up. Sounds good. I do. I'm sitting at home right now. This is the load I'm going to leave the house on. The trailer I have is 673287. So, yeah. um, eh, one last. Okay, sounds good. One quick question. I live in Oklahoma City, and I see that you guys do a lot of loads out of Lawton. These tire loads out of whatever is in Lawton. You don't have anything dedicated, do you? Okay. Are any of those round trip? Okay. Are any of those, none of them are round trip? There's just certain outgoing loads. Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. I'll await your email then. All right. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye. All right, so that's what we're doing. We're gonna take this load um, from Lawton. Let me see here. Let's get rid of all this Saya crap. I'm not doing this load. This is the load I tried to get. One of the loads I tried to get. Lawton, Oklahoma tire warehouse. Let's see what it pulls up. I could just wait a couple of minutes and I'll get the address. You know what? Let's do that. I'm going to pause the video. I'm doing the happy dance right now because I have to pee. So I'm going to pause the video, go use the restroom. By then, the email should be here, and we'll look up the exact addresses on this. I'll be right back. All right, so she did tell me that it's a GM plant. So it's probably this General Motors plant. She said it was building B. I don't know. They have a big truck entrance here, and it looks like they have some staging, some parking where you can stage and wait. This is the Gate 11 truck entrance. Building B. I don't know where Building B is at. But I think I remember her saying something about Gate 11. But that is most likely where I'm delivering to. It says it's 187 miles. So the mileage is close, but I also don't know the origin point. Goodyear Tire and Rubber. That is not where I'm picking up at. What is this? There's no name on this. So I'm going to pause this while I wait for the email, and then we will look at the pickup and delivery locations. It looks like there's not going to be an issue. The main problem that I have with loads, why I asked them, what the pickup and delivery locations are like, is I will not drive into residential areas. I won't pick up or deliver to places that are not designed for trucks. So my main concern with this load was that it might be delivering to like a retail store that's not really designed for trucks, and I'm going to have to do some weird crap to get into there. But usually on a drop and hook load, you're not going to be delivering to some weird retail place. So yeah, this looks like I'm delivering to a GM plant. But let me pause this and get the email and get the exact addresses. All right, so we've got the exact locations. Um, this is the place that I'm delivering. It's not that GM plant. Um, it's some kind of GM something, but I don't know exactly where I'm delivering to. All the addresses over here list as building A, and I'm going to building B, so I'm guessing it's this building, but the only location listed at this building doesn't have a designation on it. It doesn't have a suite number or anything, but it looks like there's only one single truck entrance into this place, uh, which is this entrance right here. So I'm sure they'll tell me where I'm going, but this is the place I'm delivering to. And the place I'm picking up from is basically a drop yard across from Well, I don't know where the plant is where they make the tires, but this is where I'm picking up from. Actually, I do. I have the address of the plant, but this is where I'm picking up from. It's a drop yard. And it looks like it's pretty easy. Plenty of room to back in based on the pictures here and the size of the vehicles. It looks like you can straight back all these spots. There are a ton of rules. There are a bunch of like threatening things in the email. Let me pause this and see if I can show you the email. No, I can't show you the email. It's got too much like personal stuff in it. But basically, there's a bunch of threats in the email, being banned, and being reported to Landstar and stuff like that. So basically, if the trailer that you drop off has any issues, or it's not cleaned out, then you will be banned from this company. This agency will ban you from ever doing business, and your load could be canceled. And you might be reported to Landstar if you drop a trailer with an issue. Um, it has to also have a recent inspection, they say. I don't know what that means. I don't know what they mean by recent. As long as the inspection's good, like I don't know. But yeah, they have a big long list of rules. You have to use Landstar Connect, where they can track you throughout the whole load. Um, there's just a whole bunch of stuff, and then with every single one of the things, it says that if you don't do this, then you will be banned. So it's just like threats. Like every one of the rules is followed with a threat. But yeah, she basically told me that sometimes the trailers will be ready really early. And I asked her, okay, well, cool. If the trailer's ready early, could I deliver it early? And she said no. She said it has to be delivered Monday. So basically, I can't be late, but I also can't be too early. So it has to be delivered on Monday before 4 a.m. I can't deliver it before Monday. So basically, she told me that I have to deliver it between midnight and 4 a.m. So I'm not going to bother picking the trailer up until probably like, um, so it's about approximately a 4 hour drive. So I will probably try to arrive. It's a 3 to 4 hour drive, and I can't get there early. So I'm probably going to try to arrive at about 1 a.m. Is what I'm going to shoot for. So I will probably get there at about 9 p.m. Actually, I'll probably get there at about 8 p.m. to pick up the trailer with the expectation that it's going to take about an hour to do the drop and hook. And yeah, so I'll probably get there about 7 or 8 p.m. So I'll probably shoot for like 8 p.m. Sunday afternoon is when I'll try to pick the trailer up and then drop the trailer off on the delivery. And hopefully, I'm going to be able to book a load between now and you know what? We can look at that right now. Let's look now. I can change my search. This is 150. What is this? Let's see. What do we got going on this search? 250-mile radius around Oklahoma City. Now let's look for something that picks up on the 18th or later. And let's change the search to Arlington, Texas. £20,000 hazmat load going to Stockton, Utah. I don't like hauling hazmat. Let me rephrase that. There's a difference between hauling hazmat and being placarded. Hauling hazmat, I don't care. Having placards on my trailer, I care. Having placards on your trailer is like just it's a I don't know, it's a big juicy target for law enforcement. The penalties are basically doubled for everything if you're placarded. So you're much and there's so many more rules whenever you're placarded. So you're much more likely to get pulled over or get pulled in for a random inspection if you're placarded. You know what would be absolutely amazing is that load that I was going to book that picks up on the 20th. If that load like popped back up on the load board, well, I don't really want to go to Salt Lake, but the one that was picking up in, I think there were two of them that I was going to pick up on the, one of them was Oak Grove, and there was another one in Grand Prairie that was going to pick up on the 20th, right? I forget. Baytown to Omaha, Baytown to Ankeny. Texas to Espanola, New Mexico. That's Dawn. Yeah, I need to set up my. I need to change my load alert over to looking for a load coming out of the Dallas area on Monday or later, and hopefully I get something before I pick the load up, because I would prefer to have somewhere to go after I deliver the load rather than just try to find a parking spot. Let's like if I don't have a load, I know that let's look at load cert on the road. Fuel prices are high. Let me zoom out here and get some reference. Where in the hell is that? Like right in the center. There it is. Well, there's no major truck stops real close to there. Probably gonna have to drive 20 plus miles. Wow. And there's a pretty decent gap between TA Petro and Pilot Flying J. They've been within like a penny of each other for a while. Now there's like 5 cents a gallon difference. I might be switching back over to TA Petro. Let's check prices somewhere else. So 2 cents a gallon difference in Wyoming. $0.01 a gallon difference. Yeah, TA is consistently cheaper everywhere. All right, let's check. Um, and any truck stops in this area, really, really close to here, are just going to be absolutely overrun. But almost all of the major truck stops are out at the edges of the town. They're not like in the center of the Dallas Fort Worth area. They're almost all out at the edges. I might actually end up driving all the way over to Terrell. There's a TA truck stop right here that usually has parking all the time and it's not paid or anything like that. But whenever I'm going to have to drive a long ways to get to a truck stop after a load, it's always a big decision because I have no idea where my next load's going to pick up at. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to book a load before I deliver this load. That way I know where I'm going. And I'm not going to be taking the route that it's suggesting here because this is a toll road across here. I'm not going to take a toll road unless I have to. So I'm actually going to do that and avoid the toll road. Now I am going to have to take this toll road right here, Interstate 44. Is it a toll road all the way to the border? Yep. Well, maybe not all the way to the border. Looks like it turns into a toll road right here where this Love's Travel Stop is at. And I'm not going to take this crap that it's telling me to do. See, I have to drive from Oklahoma City down to Lawton, pick up the trailer, and then go drop it off in Arlington, and then go wherever to hopefully pick up my next load. I don't know, this has just been a really stressful day, and now the stress is kind of over with, except now I'm going to be sitting in Dallas looking for a load, and who knows how long it's going to take me to find a load out of Dallas. And with my APU air conditioner, which, you know what, the APU air conditioner might actually be an option. I might actually be able to use the APU air conditioner. I'm going to be installing this new inverter that I can run the air conditioner off of. And I should be able to find out if the air conditioner is actually working or not. I installed the air conditioner and it worked amazing right after I installed it. And then 2 weeks later, whenever I left the house, it didn't work. It wouldn't turn on. It would turn on, but not all the way. It was like it wasn't getting enough power. And I don't know if it's an issue of not getting enough power or if the air conditioner's faulty. I'm not sure which it is. But last time I was out over the road, I did some stuff with a generator on the APU, and I powered the air conditioner directly off the generator, and the air conditioner almost worked. It like what was happening is only the inside unit was powering on, and the outside unit was not spinning the fan or doing anything. But whenever I did some work on the generator, then the outside fan started spinning, but the compressor wasn't kicking on. So it's like seems like it's powering up in stages, and it's still just not getting enough power. So this should and the inverter that I have in the truck right now is only putting out like 900 watts of power maximum. And I tried running the air conditioner off of that inverter, and it would just cause errors on the inverter, pulling too much power. So with this new inverter, I want to plug the air conditioner into it and see if the air conditioner will actually run. And that will tell me, oh, either the air conditioner doesn't work or I just need to get the generator going. And once the air conditioner has enough power, it'll work. Um, but yeah, I am looking forward to having a functional air conditioning system in the truck again. That would be really nice. Well, the regular air conditioner works, but it uses a lot of fuel to idle the truck. So I am looking forward to the winter. I know most truck drivers hate the winter and they move south for the winter. I plan on moving north for the winter. Like as soon as we get into the fall, like we're only a few weeks away. In September, things should start cooling off a little bit in the north. And I'm looking forward to getting up into the north, into some cool weather. You know what? Let's actually check the weather. Let me pause this. Yeah, it looks like the weather is gonna start cooling off in September. Looking forward to it. I am not a fan of hot weather. But yeah, I should wrap up the video now. I'm gonna after I get done with the video, I'm gonna change my load alert, and then I'm gonna start prepping everything to go back out over the road. Make sure that I've already done meal prep and all that stuff. I'll need to do a grocery delivery, one final grocery delivery, and I need to decide if I'm gonna go load the truck up a day early. I actually probably will go and pack everything into the truck on Saturday. That way, when it's time to leave on Sunday, I can just basically hop into the truck and go. That's what I prefer to do because if I show up there and I have to unload the car into the truck, I get all sweaty and nasty and everything. It takes like an hour to move everything into the truck and then put everything away and get everything sorted. Uh, so I prefer to go over there and do all that Saturday, get everything good to go. That way on Sunday when it's time to leave, I just take off and not be all sweaty and nasty. But I think that's it. I think we're good to go. And I'm still stressed out because I'm not going to make any money on this load. So I'm leaving the house hauling a load that I'm not going to make any money on. It pays $500 gross to the truck. And it's like so it's 190 loaded miles plus so it's 287 total miles. What in the hell? 289. We'll say 300 total miles. And it's paying 500 bucks. So I'm making $1.66 a mile on the total mileage. And it's a really short mileage run. It's a so I mean it's not a horrible load, but it's also not a very good load. But it puts me in a position where I'm going to be idling the truck down in the Dallas area, burning money in fuel, $20, $30 a day in fuel cost while I'm waiting for another load. And I'm still undecided on whether or not I'm going to take loads to the Seattle Portland area. Let's go back over here and edit this search and change it to Portland. No, I don't want Portland, Alabama. This is probably what I'm going to end up doing. What I'll probably do is I'm still going to take a load up to the Seattle Portland area, and I'm going to take one of these like 30 stop loads out of Staten, Oregon. Where in the hell is Staten? Is that down by California? Let me pause this. It's logged me out again. All right, and we're back. So, where is State in Oregon? Okay, it's just south of Portland. There's two different agencies that post a ton of loads out of Oregon that are huge multi-stop loads. And one of them picks up down in Grants Pass, Oregon, and looks like this one is much closer to Portland. It's just south of Portland, Salem. And I don't think these loads are driver assist or anything like that. They might be, but I'll just deal with it. If it's a driver assist load, as long as it's not anything crazy heavy or like a pain in the butt to unload, then that's probably what I'll end up doing. I'll take a load up to Seattle, Portland out of Dallas that's paying crazy money, hopefully, and then take one of these big loads out of state in Oregon uh, to hopefully a good place, a good market. That's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to stick with the going up to the Seattle Portland area out of Dallas. I'm addicted to those really big paying loads, those 7,000, $8,000 loads. I don't like doing lots of little loads. I prefer to do like really big loads. But anyway, that's what's going on with me. The drama is kind of over with. I'm still stressed out about it. I've still got to sort all of this and figure out what's going on. And it's only Thursday. So I've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then I leave on Sunday. So I've still got like 4 days to get everything ready to go. But that's what's going on with me. And it looks like I'm going to be leaving the house Sunday evening and going down to Dallas, delivering a tire load. And then I'm going to try to find a load out of Dallas, most likely going to Seattle, Portland. And we'll get it figured out from there. And hopefully I'm able to book a load between now and Sunday, which is basically between now and Friday afternoon because these brokers work bankers hours. But yeah, we'll get it. I was just sitting here thinking about, me calling that person and the phone just keeps hanging up. This is the exact same thing that happened last time I tried to reach her, this agency, is that it just kept hanging up at different times, not at the exact same time. Sometimes it hangs up while it's ringing, sometimes it hangs up right when she picks up, and sometimes it hangs up after she says hello. And like I'm just like, why in the hell does this thing keep hanging up? Uh so last time I had to text her and she had to call me. We had to do the same thing this time. And this agency, like I said earlier, has tons of rules about banning drivers. I have never hauled a load for this agency, so they they wouldn't have banned me because I did a load wrong, but I am sometimes extremely rude to agents who cold call me trying to move loads. And maybe what happened was the agent called me trying to move a load and I was rude to them and told them to stop calling me and they added me to their like blacklist. And I asked her about that last time. I was like, I thought you guys like had me blacklisted or something because it just kept hanging up every time I called in. And she was like, maybe that is it. And I was like, really? You guys have a blacklist? And she checked and I wasn't on there. So I don't think that's it, but it's weird. Maybe there's some other blacklist on the phone. Maybe she blocked me on the phone or something like that, and it's a separate blacklist or something. I don't know. But that's just bugging me as to why the thing keeps hanging up like that. But anyway, yeah, that's what's going on with me today. We've got a load booked. We've got trailer utilization off our back for now. Um, but I have to figure out the California permit thing. Um, if I get close to California, I'll probably just end up paying the $75 to get a permit. If not, if I can't find a place that does the permit, then I'm just gonna have to deactivate my truck on the carb, and I have to take pictures of that and send it to Landstar. Um, and I'm not sure what the process is to reactivate a vehicle or anything like that. It's just I hate California. I really despise California. I hate I hate that they basically have their own set of rules, as if this industry is not over-regulated enough, as if we don't have enough permits and enough crazy oversight. California has like its own set of everything. Special little snowflake state. But yeah, I've still got a lot of stuff to figure out. And I'm stressing out about a lot of things, and I need to put in a grocery delivery to restock the truck with groceries. I already have like meal prep stuff done. Like, I do frozen food. Like, I'll make food and I'll put it in little containers and freeze it. So I basically make my own like frozen meals to take into the truck. I've already got all that done. I just need to order fresh food to take into the truck. So I need to do a final grocery delivery for fresh food. But yeah, that's what's going on with me. So this might be the last video that I make until I leave the house on Sunday. And then when I leave the house on Sunday, I'll probably do a driving video. Maybe. I don't know. It's probably going to be dark whenever I leave. I'm not sure what time the sun goes down. Um, the sun might be staying up until like 8 or 9 o'clock at night still. So I might be able to record the drive there in daylight. Otherwise, if I record at night, it's just a black screen. But anyway, have a good one, and we'll see you maybe Sunday. Bye.